So we're discussing about this Garbhadana Samskara, and a lot of introduction we took. There are a few more aspects that we have to think about. And by knowing those things, you'll understand the close interrelationship between the physical, the mental, and the spiritual dimensions between the relationship of husband and wife. I've been telling husband and wife, it's not as in animals, a relationship between just a male and a female. Just a relationship between male and female is, from the human point of view, is considered as illegal and illicit. It's illegal and illicit. But the relationship between husband and wife is considered as the right way of relationship. And this relationship considers not only the physical aspect, but also the adjustment in the mental dimension. This cannot happen overnight. This needs a continuous process. It needs many, many years to achieve. So it has got both dimensions, physical and mental. Of course, spiritual is also there. Now, to achieve this, I have discussed already that one man to one wife, one husband to one wife is a relationship. Because over a period, they have to develop that mental compatibility also. So here, there are a few more aspects to consider. We generally use one word for the relationship between husband and wife and their physical relationship, intercore, copulation, whatever you call it. The word what is used is sambhoga. That's the word they use. Now, generally, it is understood as the physical relationship between the husband and wife. But it has got a wider meaning. It has got wider meaning. It is enjoying together, some together. Bhoga is enjoying together. Not just a physical relationship, it could be anything. Say they sit down and eat together, they sit down and talk together, they sit down and see the same thing together. That togetherness is the essence of that sambhoga, the word sambhoga. It doesn't mean only the physical relationship, it means anything done by the two together. That togetherness is the essence of it. This is what we have to understand. It has got a wider meaning. Together they go, together they live, together they talk, together they eat, together they listen. That togetherness is known as sambhoga. This is one aspect that we have to understand very clearly. Then another thing is, with the physical point of view, we call it as the reaching of the height, the reaching of the height. The physical requirement of the male and the female. So it reaches a height and then it unwinds. That's the process what actually happens. It is a play of the nerves. It's a play of the nerves. So nerves become tense and suddenly get released, and that's what exactly is considered as the pleasure that is there in the physical relationship. Now, the time required to reach that acme, that top level, it varies from person to person, male to female and everything. Now here again, the mind comes into play. This is not at all a point with regard to animals. They just copulate, they just secrete something and they reproduce. That's the end of it. But here, this level to be reached, the highest level of nervine tension to be reached by both, has to be at the same time for maximizing the pleasure. But to make it, the mind has to work. It's not just the physics, the mind also has to work. So that to find out their mutual speeds, they have to understand at what rate they become tensed on that. That's number one. And when they need, some may be needing it sometime, the other person may not be interested. Some may be in a relaxed mood, some may be in the mood to have relationship. So these all things which has to be considered. These have to be managed with with the intervention of the mind. It's not just physical. The mind also plays a role. And the mind has to play in such a way that these things are balanced, and equalized. And when these things are balanced and equalized, the product what we get there will be a good child, will be a good progeny. This is a process behind it. Then, from another angle, now this physical relationship, in some religions and in the opinion of some people, it's said that it has to happen only to beget a child, and in all other cases it is not acceptable. It's not ethical. That's what they say. They bring in the ethical element of it. So the husband and wife should come together and should have intercourse with the purpose of begetting a child only. Repeat, only, not otherwise. And on the other hand, some have an opinion that not necessarily that, even for their pleasure also they can do it. They can get in the act for their pleasures. It's another extreme. One extreme is it could be for pleasure, another extreme is only for begetting a child. The reality, the actual thing is somewhere between the two. It's a combination of both. Yes, the purpose of husband and wife coming together is, of course, to beget a child. But sometimes, for the relief of both, for a soothing experience too, they can go for it. But that's not the ultimate thing. That's not the ultimate thing, and that's not the only purpose. It's a balance between the two. When this balance is achieved, then the children born out of this balanced relationship will be definitely better than us. That's why the word is used in the Vedas as praja. Ja is one who has taken birth. Praja is one who has taken birth in a better way, in a good way, exemplary way. Children who are better than us or born in an exemplary way, yes, they are called as praja. Pra is the upasarga there. Ja is one who has taken birth. So to beget praja is the purpose. It will happen because of the satisfied and mutually respecting and a venture which is done together. Out of that, we get this praja. If any aspect is missing, to that extent, the quality of the praja will come down. And this is the vow they take in the Vivaha Samskaara. Anyhow, I'll be discussing then. Prajabhyaha panchapadi bhava. The fifth step takes 7 steps in the Vivaha Samskaara. The fifth step specifically attends to this point. It says, to beget better children, to beget better offsprings, we shall try our level best. The trial is the one what I am speaking of. The physical relation between the two is to soothe their minds, to soothe their body, at the same time with the intention of begetting good children. The balance has to be struck between the two. It's neither just physical indulgence, or it's not abstinence and coming together only to beget children. It's neither this, it's neither that. There's a balance between the two. And here it is said as Sambhoga, that is, the essence is togetherness. The speeds have to be matched. One may be faster in getting excited. One may be slower in getting excited. So this has to be matched, and this can be done only by proper thinking and analysis and control. That's the mental aspect of it. And the spiritual aspect of it is to avoid overindulgence. That's the thing. That's the spiritual aspect of it. Overindulgence, at one point or the other, makes the people suffer. The husband and wife suffer physically and mentally. Overindulgence. That overindulgence have to be avoided, and that is the spiritual aspect of it. It analyzes and thinks what is the purpose of it, why we are doing, and they try to have control over the overindulgence. That overindulgence again is not humane. That overindulgence is not humane. Indulgence is okay, but not overindulgence. It's a balanced, mutually required, soothing effect, and at the same time to beget good children. So the actual control over it, the balance over it, is the spiritual aspect of it. Because in the spiritual aspect, we think of not only us, but also to beget good children whom we are going to donate, whom we are going to contribute to the well-being of the society. If we beget brats, if we beget bastards, then we are not doing any help to the society, but we are contributing to the deterioration of the society. But we are planning to give good citizens to the world. With that intention, we are proceeding with this Garbhadhana Samskara. So there we have got the good intention of not only for us, but also for the whole world, because we are contributing a very good citizen. So this aspect is what is called as the spiritual thing. So I got the physical dimension, we have got the mental dimension, and at the same time we have got the spiritual dimension. One more aspect what we have to consider here is, in animals, how it works. In animals, how it works. Animals, they have got a season. It is seasonal. They get into heat on a particular season, not always. When they are in heat, yes, they meet and procreate. When they are not in heat, absolutely there is no effect of the male on the female or the female on the male. They are neuter. But during that particular season, the season varies from one species to another species, that's okay. During that season, during that period, yes, they get into heat, and the male and female, they come together and procreate. But such a thing is not there here in human beings. It all depends on their mind and their spiritual level. So once they think of it, yes, the body responds. The body responds and they can go for it. So there is no such season or a season when only they will do it, otherwise they don't do it. It's not like that. That seasonal aspect is not there. Little freedom is there to human beings to go in for this sambhoga. That is to have things together. That seasonal element is not there. So when this freedom is given, yes, we are answerable also, and we are answerable, and we have to balance it. We have to balance it. Overindulgence has to be avoided, and whenever we indulge in, it should be for a right purpose. Maybe soothing, maybe to beget good children. This is a balancing point. We have got 5 indriyas, pancha indriyas. The eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and the skin. This relationship between husband and wife is mostly at the skin level. Mostly at the skin level. And in animals, it is clearly skin level, maybe a little about other things. But here, we can creatively manage in such a way that the eyes too take part in this. The ears also take part in it. Nose also takes part in it. The tongue also takes part in this. And in this sense also, we can call it a sambhoga. That is indulgence that is coming together of all the 5 sense organs and happening of the event, the act. Now, the psychology and the science speaks of several other things also. Especially in human beings, I'm speaking of. So here, the actual act of coming together is called as the play. It's one of the terms they use, play. And there are certain things known as foreplay and post-play. Foreplay and post-play. This is all studied under psychology, under that, especially under sexology. And sexology, they discuss all these things. But there, they speak of only the physical aspect. But here, we discuss about the physical as the mental and spiritual aspects. The foreplay, play, and post-play, whatever they do, it all adds to beget good children. And when they are together, when they are doing things together, what is right or wrong is never worried about. Whatever they do with mutual agreement, with mutual liking, it's all right. It is their wish, it is their life, it is their togetherness. But here it should be understood very clearly, one cannot thirst upon another anything. Thirsting something on the other person is not humane. We are not compassionate there, we are not able to understand the status of the other person. That's the problem. So if you are able to understand it and adjust accordingly, yes, that's a human nature, and that is the mental and the spiritual aspect of it. So these are the other dimensions what we are getting between the relationship between a husband and wife. Now, all these things have to be considered in toto. It's not that every aspect is separate. It is all in toto, it has to be considered, and they have to work together. They have to work together at all levels of the sense organs. And coming to the mental aspect of it, in particular, it is love for one another. That love for one another is equally important. Yes, I shall do this with this person only, I like this person. I shall do this with this person only, I like it. In other words, it's called as faithfulness. Faithfulness. Husband is faithful to the wife, and wife is faithful to the husband. This faithfulness is also a very, very important aspect which contributes to, number one, a good soothing and relaxation, and it also contributes a great thing to beget good children. That mutual liking, that mutual love, that mutual adjustment is also a very, very essential thing. Now I change a little the subject too, and come to this genetic engineering. Genetic engineering, thus they take a part of the sperm, they take a part of the ovum, they analyze, they map it, the DNAs and the chromosomes, and in the laboratory, they manipulate them. The DNAs and chromosomes, they have got their own different properties. So some may have the negative aspects of the person, the deficiencies may come. Some will be stronger and will have some good qualities. So all this we can understand while we study the gene. So in laboratory, in genetic engineering, it has been an effort to map the gene. And to a maximum extent, this gene mapping has been done to a very great extent. So as gene mapping, we identify genes which result in good things, genes which are not strong, and genes which are not giving good things, good qualities. So they manipulate, say remove some, add some, and finally do some combination and allow them to fertilize. In simple words, how the genetic engineering is done. So we get the children of desired quality. By manipulation in the laboratory, the genes and the parts of the genes, the gene DNAs and chromosomes. This is what is done in genetic engineering. Now, the basic question is, okay, they identify which is a good quality, which is not good quality, which has got some strength, it doesn't have some strength, and all those things. And they manipulate, they arrange and do it. But basically what they need is a good quality or a bad quality, a strength or something which is weak, only they can manipulate. How do you create that strong gene? How do you create that good quality in the gene? It is not done in the laboratory. Manipulation is done in the laboratory, but not the quality of it. Some quality is there, they make a formula of their own, that's okay. But how do those qualities get into the gene, the DNA or the chromosome? That they are not able to do in the laboratory. They are able to do with a given set of genes and DNA, manipulate and get the desired result. The whole thing is formed at the time of co-opulation, and there's intercourse between the two, following these different things what I have been telling. Purity of the sperm, purity of the ovum, the mental relationship between the husband and wife, and within that framework of the husband and wife relationship, mutual understanding, mutual love, balanced heat, and the soothing effect, a balanced indulgence, their food habit, the way they think, the environment, all these factors get in. It's not just one point which gets in. All these things get in, and finally, the quality of the DNA or the quality of a gene is decided in the sperm or the ovum. Then manipulation is possible. But here also, if the entire thing is not understood, then this manipulation too may result in hazards. I tried it, but still the genetic engineering is not full-fledged. They're trying their level best, but it is not possible because all that manipulation too should happen at the level of the sperm and the ovum getting together to form a zygote. That's the best way possible. And all the other things are taken care of. It's a very, very little science. It's a very, very subtle science, which is beyond the control of, or which is beyond the supervision of the laboratory. The very human structure is a great laboratory. So the things have to take care of within this laboratory only. Good genes, good DNAs, good sperm, good ovum, healthy ovum, all should happen in this living, dynamic laboratory. It's a very, very important. This is what is tested in Garbhadana Samskara. The very structure of the husband and wife is the laboratory. They have to think well, they have to talk well, they have to live well, they have to practice a disciplined way of life. They have to take right food, sattvic food. If they take sattvic food, the quality of the sperm and ovum will be of a certain type. If they take rajasic food, it will be something else. If they take tamasic food, the result will be something else. Whatever they think, whatever they eat, whatever they aspire for, all these things will affect the genes, will affect the sperm and the ovum. All this is a subtle science which has to be understood in depth, and only when a person lives humanely, with love, affection, within the framework of that marriage and husband and wife relationship, constantly trying to adjust to one another, physically, mentally, and spiritually, yes, all these things will finally result in a good quality and strong genes and strong sperm and strong ovum. Now together, they come together, they will have that physical relationship with all the sense organs participating in it, managing their heats and levels and speed. Yes, the result could be wonderful. But all this is consciously done. I repeat, all this is consciously done, and with willpower and with volition it's done. Now the result could be excellent. But what is happening today? We don't know all these aspects at all in the first instance. And it's all happening animal-like. Get into the heat, a male and a female, they come together, done, they beget children. Nothing is monitored, nothing is monitored. Even at the physical level, even at the mental level, even at the spiritual level. It's all uncontrolled and unmanaged, indisciplined. How can you expect better offspring out of it? This whole science of Garbhadana is intended to get praja. Is intended to get praja. So if this praja is got, yes, we are happy. And please note, I have told in the previous class also, while begetting praja, we never worry about the gender of the praja. Vedas very clearly say that male and female, they are not different. It's not male superiority and female inferiority, all are same. It's just a tool, the body, which in a particular structure is just a tool for the soul to operate. That's all. If it is of one type, the operation will be a certain type. If it is the other one, the things will be different. That's all. There is no question of superiority or inferiority. And at the spiritual level, there is no question of male or female at all, because the soul has no gender by itself. It's all certain basic things that should be in our mind and work together. Both husband and wife should understand all these things, lead a disciplined life, think well, and adjust at the physical level, at the mental level, and at the spiritual level. With mutual love and respect, yes, they come together. And the sperm and ovum which are produced at that time will be of the highest quality, and the probability of begetting good children, begetting, how do you say they are good? How do you say the children are good? How do you verify that they are praja? Yes, we have got some parameters for that. They should live longer than us. They should be able to have longevity. That's one. That is the usefulness of the tool, what they get. The Sharindra Manas should be for a longer time, should be more efficient. And the brain that gets developed should be of greater power. The mental power should be more. They should be able to think better. They should be able to understand the logic of life better, the science of life better, the art of life better. And they should be more useful to themselves and the society than us. Yes, then they are better offsprings. This is called as improvisation, generation after generation. If it's all done without knowing all these things, ignorantly, then there is all the cause for degeneration. That's what we are seeing. Our children are not at least as strong as us. They are weaker than us. They are prone to so many diseases and problems, physical and mental. The spiritual aspect, they are not able to analyze and understand at all. That power of the apparatus is not there. There are so many such problems. There are so many such problems. They are not better than us. When they are not better than us, it's called as degeneration. When they are better than us, and on all these aspects, in understanding, in being useful to them and to the society, being more healthy, being more analytical, yes, that is improvisation, generation after generation. All these aspects are discussed and considered, and they give clear-cut instructions as to what all the aspects that should be taken care of. Now, this way of life, before coming together to beget children, has to be practiced maybe for a month, maybe for 2, maybe for 3. So when they lead such a life, yes, the whole system gets conditioned. The whole system gets conditioned, and whatever sperm of ovum that is produced in that condition and well-disciplined life and body and mind, yes, the probability of begetting good children is more. This is the science of Garbhadana Samskara. How far it is true or not, it's a different issue. But one mention is there about what Krishna did. Krishna and Rukmini, they did. They begot a child after practicing all these things for a period of 12 years. Just a mention, just a reference. But this much is certain that more the time they spend to prepare themselves to beget a children on these lines, yes, better will be the offspring. That much we can say. With the same purpose, with the same goal, husband and wife, they work together for many, many days, maybe weeks, maybe months. And finally, they come together, and the product, what we get there, definitely is of better nature. It's all behind the genetic science, what we see today. It is at a subtle level, it works. It's not at the grass level in the laboratory, it works. But the very laboratory is a dynamic system of ours, and it all works there. The discussion what we had today is more scientific, is more psychological, and is more spiritual. So we have to just think a little as to different aspects what I have told, and a balance has to be struck. And this is the education what is to be given to the husband and wife or would-be parents. So its education is given, yes, they can do better things, they can beget better children. But unfortunately, neither the education system nor the parents or elders in the house or anyone for that matter is giving this knowledge to the would-be parents. That's a problem. So what happens? Okay, they come together, they beget children, and the quality of the children and their capacities are never monitored. That's what is happening. It's just animal-like. Animals also do the same thing. Physically, they meet, they beget children, that's the end of it. But at least there, they do it according to certain law. As I was telling, they got a heat period, they got a season when they come together, and they got their own methods at the physical level, and there it happens. But here, at the physical it should happen, mental level it should happen, and spiritual level it should happen, and we are given some freedom also as to when to come together. Seasonal bindings are not there, and this also can happen for soothing of our nerves, soothing of our different tensions. So we got a different dimension, we got a different purpose, and we have got a different condition altogether. So under that, if you make use of it properly, if you do it in a disciplined and healthy way, yes, this Garbhadana Samskara will be really useful, and it's a technique of begetting better children than us. It's a technique to beget praja. The final conclusion of it. Let's think about it for a while, and I will actually embark upon the mantras and the different aspects what are there in the coming class that's day after tomorrow. All the science background of that Garbhadana Samskara. We're discussing about some other introductory things. This is also a very important aspect what you have to consider. And when this is practiced, yes, the probability of begetting good children, useful children, intelligent children is all possible. Because whatever is needed at the gene level, whatever is needed at the DNA and chromosome level is actually manufactured, I repeat, manufactured in the body of the husband and wife in the form of sperm and ovum. It's not manipulation of whatever is already manufactured in the laboratory, but the very manufacturing happens in this way. It is subtler than the genetic engineering what we are seeing. Okay, enough for the day, and we shall actually embark upon the Veda mantras and how they speak about it in the coming sessions. Thank you.